Last 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, masters. Whenever you are ready, please open your hands and place on your eyes. Okay, masters. Thank you all for this wonderful meditation. Welcome all of you, my dear friends, my dear masters, my dear gods. Thanks to our Guru, Brahmashi Pitamaha Patriji. Thanks to our Guru, Master Darkam Saradariya. Thanks to all the masters, whoever is helping us with all the wisdom. And thanks to all the masters, whoever is joining all these sessions. Thank you, thank you, thank you all. So welcome all of you to the 17th day of Karma Consciousness, Season 2. So let me share my screen. Okay, masters, let us learn more about karma. So all these sessions we are discussing about karma is law of cause and effect, right? So master is telling there is law of causelessness also. Not only law of cause and effect, but there is a law of causelessness. So this is mentioned in the Lotus Sutra seems. Okay. And law of causelessness overrides law of cause and effect. So law of causelessness transcends the law of cause and effect. And this operates from the higher realms within all worlds alongside the law of cause and effect. So for this law of causelessness, the foundation is law of compassion. Okay. So this law of compassion, as we already learned about it, it functions beyond the law of cause and effect. So when you become more and more compassionate, it can eliminate your karma. It can clear off your karma. It can pay back your karma balances. Right? So this law of causelessness will be working based on this law of compassion. Okay. And Master is telling, according to the law of causelessness, a person can attain instantaneous enlightenment. A wicked person can enter the path of liberation. A person can become Buddha or a Christ. So when the law of causelessness comes into act, a person can become instantaneously enlightened beings. And a wicked person can also come into the path of light. He can liberate himself. One person can become Buddha, a Christ, Jesus, Lord Krishna. So all these great avatars they can become, is what Master is telling. And this is upon the will of the source, the Lord, the God, the highest Master. Whoever has created, he works on the basis of law of causelessness. He has nothing to do with the law of cause and effect because he is the creator. He has created all the principles, all the laws. He is the divine, right? So he cannot be wrong at all. He knows what he has created and he will be bound by that. And based upon the compassion of compassionate rule, compassionate law, so he can bring that law of causelessness into effect onto some beings. And Master is also telling certain people also are programmed to do what they do. Their good or bad deeds are not related to them, and they neither decrease or increase in merit. So, in our previous sessions, we have learned about karma, right? So, karma acts in multiple ways. Sometimes karma acts through some people who are vibrating at lower vibrations, or someone who has nothing to do with you, but karma uses them. Through them, it acts to bring some karma into your lives. So karma chooses certain people. So that is what Master here mentioning. Certain people are also programmed to do what they do. Because karma is acting through them, they are being programmed to bring certain karma into someone's lives. So because of that, whatever the good or bad, whatever the righteous thing or wrong things they are doing, through whom karma is being acted upon, for them that karma will not be there. Because it is not that they are doing it, they are acting. Karma is acting through them. So for that reason, they are being programmed, and because of that reason, there won't be any karma to them. And they don't gain anything or they don't lose anything also. That is what Master is doing. They play their part in the drama of life, appearing in different roles. So karma chooses the master, the highest masters chooses very few people, and they program them so that karma will be acting through them. So when such kind of things are happening, so whatever is being done through them, that karma will not be attached to them at all. Because they are just acting that. Okay, masters, though their future or past, nothing will be affected because of that. And master is telling, even if a person is loaded with past karma, he can turn into a saint instantaneously if that is what God wants. So there is also another thing about it. So if the ultimate Almighty, the source, if he wants to make someone greatest being, then he can do that, is what Master is telling. Again, this will not happen just like that, Master. There are so many other things that will be considered. It's not that much straightforward, whatever we think. Yeah, so that's what Master is telling. The wanting of God is not the result of any move that a person may take toward freedom. The wanting is not conditioned by any human attitude. It is the act of God, the action of law of causelessness. So God chooses very few if he wants to transform them based upon the law of compassion, law of causelessness. He chooses the one and he gives them a chance. That's what Master is telling. It's not because they have done a great work towards something beautiful, something wonderful, or they have taken some greater steps towards the spiritual path. That's why God is willing to do that. No, nothing like that. Purely based upon the causelessness and based upon the law of compassion. So God chooses very few people so that he is giving a chance to them. Because he is the Almighty. That's what Master is saying. In a deeper sense, since an individual being essentially is divine, he is potentially above any limitations created by his past deeds. And again, in the next one, the Master is telling, while most of life proceeds under the law of cause and effect, there are those who are not subjected to it. So those who operate as cells. So who has actually raised their vibrations, raised their energies, raised their awareness to such a level, they individualize themselves completely. are the ones who cleared their karma completely, are the ones karma chooses through whom karma is acting upon to bring some karma into someone's lives. So among these, God chooses someone who can he can give whom to whom he can give a chance. And then law of inevitability. So this law of inevitability is something that we cannot escape. We cannot skip at all. Whatever you do, it happens. So law of inevitability can be detected by those who observe how certain things in life run their course, no matter what people do, desire, or think. It is as if everything is programmed in the way it should run. So sometimes Master is telling this thing. So this law of inevitability is something that is part of law of cause and effect. Law of cause and effect is there. Along with that, there is a law of inevitability is there. Suppose somebody has done some great karma in their past lives. So if they have to learn something from it, so he has to go through certain situations, certain experiences. Only through them he can understand. So when there is no other way that he can understand things, he can learn things, then this law of inevitability comes into picture. And mostly these will come to all those who are vibrating in the lower levels, lower level awareness. So that will come, we will discuss on that. Okay. So this is something we cannot escape. We cannot avoid at all. Whatever you do, we end up in the same result. So this operates based on our past actions, desires, thoughts, and future dreams. So there is no way to come out of it except going through it. Because it has a very bigger purpose to bring some greater awareness, to learn something greater. It comes into our lives. So this can be seen mostly in the relationships and jobs. So there will be very hectic relationships, very chaotic relationships. Whatever you do, no matter what, it will end up with fightings, so many disturbances. So maybe many of you might have experienced. So most of the times we experience a lot of pain, a lot of suffering out of this because of this inevitability. Very less times it will be of joy, but most of the times it is all about learning actually. Okay, it is all about understanding and learning, looking at the things in the righteous perspective, rather blaming, rather than in the blame game. We need to take responsibility of our own lives, our own situations, our own experiences, our own pain, our own suffering. We always look at somebody else because it is very easy to point at others, to blame others, to be responsible. Who is responsible for our pain? Who is responsible for our own suffering? It is coming from within us, not that somebody is imposing upon us. If it is not there within you, it will not come at all, right? If you are hungry, you have to eat. If you are sleepy, you have to sleep. Nobody can do that for you. Similarly, if you are crying, if you are feeling painful, if you are feeling miserable, it is something coming from within you, right? So who has to work upon that? So that's when this law of inevitability comes into picture, masters. So we cannot escape out of it. We don't want to be in it. At the same time, we can't come out of it as well. So under the law of inevitability, this happens to all of us who live under the physical, emotional, and mental spheres. So when we stuck in our physical urges, mental urges, emotional urges, we experience this. And this law is a subsidiary to law of karma. And Master is telling one more important thing. Karma has a tolerance. And it allows good causes to interfere and change the result. We already learned about this, right? Whenever we do something great, something compassionate, something of great service to others, we add karma balances. So whenever some great karma we have to face, automatically the good things, the righteous things, the services, great services, whatever we have done, that adds balance to us. So that will clear that karma automatically. So we don't even need to face that karma. So karma will take care of those things. But the law of inevitability has no tolerance. So that's what Master is telling. Karma has a tolerance. When you have some balance, it will wait and it will make sure you are not getting affected much. But whereas law of inevitability, it has no tolerance. So it has been destined to happen no matter what. Because we are still vibrating in the lowest level. We are still hanging on to our lowest emotions, lowest mentality, and this physical world. So we still not learned our lessons. So things go on and finish their cycles, and events do not change their course in case of law of inevitability. So the one we are telling about karma, right? We will be able to do some great service to be more compassionate, to be more loving, to bring more joy into others' lives, only when we raise up to a certain level of awareness, certain level of consciousness. So then we are somewhat vibrating with higher mind, higher mindset. That is when karma applies, karma comes into picture. But when we are vibrating with the lower mindset and lower emotional planes, so we know, right? We have etheric plane, emotional plane, and mental plane. After mental plane, intuitional plane comes into picture. So until this lower mental plane, if you are vibrating at this level, in etheric plane or emotional plane or lower mental plane, we will be affected by this law of inevitability. So karma cannot interfere in that case because it is a zone of law of inevitability. So law of karma works from the higher mindsets. It is there from the it is there in all the levels, but the effect of law of inevitability is dominating until the lower mindset masters. But from higher mindset, law of inevitability cannot dominate. Law of karma overtakes law of inevitability from the higher mindset when you have some balances. But until the lower mindset, this law of inevitability dominates. Law of karma can't do anything there because you don't have any balances at all. You are still vibrating in the lower mindset. We are still stuck with our physical urges, emotional urges. We are lingering with our own lacks, with our own lack of self-love, self-care. Without we don't have any self-acceptance, first of all. Because of that only we will be having all these uh, urges, lower level clingings. So Master is telling, but the law of karma allows the higher energies let loose by the person to change the events. Because you are vibrating at a higher mindset, you have certain energy levels. And you have when you have a balance, it overtakes. It will not allow the law of inevitability to come into picture. If you have a balance, again. But if you don't have a balance, even when you're vibrating at the higher mindset, you still go through the law of inevitability. If you have any lessons to learn. Because only when we go through them, we will be able to learn. Because life always gives us opportunities to learn, and it waits as much time as much possible. After then only, this will be triggered, law of inevitability. No, enough is enough. Now this is the time. Let us push him. Because life pushes us so that we keep learning things. So there are two laws. So these two laws cooperate with each other within the physical, emotional, and lower mental spheres. So in the until this lower mental spheres, law of inevitability precedes over law of karma. So law of inevitability stops at the border of the lower mind, but the law of karma goes beyond it. So to break this law of inevitability, one must learn how to surpass physical, emotional, and mental planes and function in the higher mind or higher than that, intuitional plane. So as long as we are stuck in this physical world matters and emotional matters and a lower level mental matter, mentally we are still not matured, then we go through all this. It's like repeating the same thing again and again. Mechanically, something is happening repeatedly, continuously, consistently, and mostly in relationships and jobs. So whatever you do, no matter what, you'll be having so many disturbances, so much pain, so much suffering. So we need to pay attention here and understand, instead of involving in it, we should start observing things. Start witnessing things. That's what we need to do first thing. Only when we start witnessing, when we slow down ourselves, instead of keep fighting, stop fighting, listen to yourself, observe the situations, witness, come to your senses. Because these are the times, these are the testing times that we lose our senses. So I went through all these, masters. So it will be so much chaotic, right? So we lose our senses completely. So it will be very, very, very difficult, because this is law of inevitability will be a very severe situation, severe. It's like a severe punishment. We don't understand why it is happening, what is happening. We don't get a breathing space. So we need to have that. We need to take time for ourselves here to understand, to look back, to witness, and to rewind, to introspect. So we all have to take that time for ourselves, definitely. Then we need to understand and we need to work upon ourselves again. So when we understand, when we work upon ourselves, then we go and we evolve. And we have to bring our discipline and our self-care, our self-love into practice. Because all the things will happen because we don't accept ourselves. Because everything is a reflection of ourselves. Whatever is happening in our life is a reflection of ourselves. So if you're not accepting what is happening to you, you are not accepting yourself. So we need to take time and we need to give time. Nothing happens if we keep rushing things. So we need to take time. With the time only, we will be able to learn things. We will be able to recollect what happened, what is happening, what's going on within us. Okay, so we need to work upon ourselves and we need to raise our awareness, our consciousness, and we should try to reach that higher mindset or towards more than that, intuitional plane. Only then we'll be able to overcome the law of inevitability situations. So intuitional plane, master is telling, intuitional level awareness does not try to change the causes of events, but tries to create an alternate state of living, which is nothing but witnessing rather than involving yourself within it. So that is what master is telling. Mechanical, how you can identify once you are in such a condition means mechanical events become raw materials to be used for an advancing spiritual life. And the intuitional current begins to expand the consciousness of man to such a degree that person escapes suddenly from the circle of mechanical flow. So it is all about raising our awareness, master, raising our consciousness, raising our energies. Only then we'll be able to understand things properly. We'll be able to uh, we'll be able to ground ourselves and bring sense to our life. Otherwise, sometimes we lose sense and we act and we react. And Master is telling intuitional light does not give formulated and ready-made advice, but makes you realize how to find the ways and means to weaken and dissolve your programming. Because the way we act and react is our own programming that we have developed from so many lifetimes. So we need to first understand how we are programming ourselves. Yeah. And another one thing is law of inevitability runs also by the power of hypnotic suggestion and self-induced programming. So if somebody has done some hypnotic suggestions to you, then you will also go into law of inevitability. And sometimes it is a self-induced programming, maybe through our childhood experiences. If we come across any miserable experiences or painful experiences, so that will be induced into our mind such a way that whenever we come across certain kind of situations, we always behave the same way. We'll not be able to come out of it, and we feel so much fearful, so much tired. So events are made so strong by such programming that often it is very difficult to break them loose. So when we try to educate them or when we try to bring some discipline into their lives, it is like a temporary solution only is what master is telling. So education, discipline, heavy effort to change oneself build only artificial barriers to these circuits. So only for a temporary moment they will work, but the underlying cause, underlying pain that was still there, okay, that pops up again at one or the other moment. So to be free from this law of inevitability, the circuits must be dissolved. So we all have to work upon the core cause actually. So until unless we understand, identify what is the root cause, we cannot come out of our lingerings, our urges. Okay. Yeah. So through master is telling, through long hours of discussion with the victim and watching the pattern in his life, one can slowly detect the chains of events and advise the person to use the ruby laser beam of the self to destroy those circuits. I'm not sure what is this ruby laser beam, but what master is telling is, so there should be some counseling that has to happen. Whoever is going through these self-induced programming, or somebody who has done like a went through some hypnotic things. So somebody has to do some counseling with a higher people and understand from what point of view they're coming from. What are the different events they have experienced in their lifetime, and understand and correlate from where it might be coming and take the necessary action is what master is telling. Okay, masters. Yeah. So this law of reincarnation, very beautiful subject, masters. We'll discuss from tomorrow again. But today we'll pass the discussion here. Thank you all. If you have anything to share or anything if you want to ask, you can ask, masters. Thank you all. Thank you all, masters, for your messages. Okay, masters. Thank you all. If nothing else, nothing is there, then we can wind up the session. Thank you all for joining once again. Happy night, all of you. We'll connect again tomorrow.